Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's me again, Mark, and in today's video I want to show you how I completed this painting. Now this is an illustration that I made today and I'm really happy with how it turned out, so I figured that it would be nice to share with you my process on how I did this. So I will be showing you the full process in this video. This is slightly edited, but in particular I wanted to talk about a technique that I've been using that I've learned while I was studying other artists do their watercolor artworks. So yeah, the technique that I want to share with you is the wet in wet technique. Now this is a method of applying paint while the first application is still wet, and you can see me in practice doing it on this process right now. So you can see that I'm adding the greens on the coral that I've added on her hair. Okay, so while that is wet, I already applied another application of color, which is a different color, and I've let the two colors blend on the paper. I haven't mixed them on the palette, and I just let them like mingle on the paper, let the water do its thing to mix the color on the paper. Now this is a really good technique, especially if you are using watercolors, because watercolors are made to be used with water, so they tend to be used like while they are diluted, and this is not common with other painting materials which can be applied more opaquely. Watercolors are transparent and they can mix with each other while they are still wet. So this is a method that is particularly good if you are really using watercolors on your artworks. By letting the colors blend together, you are adding more interest to your painting without putting those really harsh transitions or really hard edges of colors. Okay, you are essentially blending the colors while they are wet. So that is a really good technique that you can try on your illustrations, and you can see here that I'm doing it on every part of the painting. So you can see on the other corals that are red in color, I applied variations there. And on the starfish, I added variations in color on there as well. So I did that particularly to add some variation, and sometimes you can also do that to add values to your subject. For example, if you are trying to add depth, if you are trying to make something look 3D, three-dimensional, you can apply wet in wet techniques on your subject so that it can appear more three-dimensional. And also, because our eyes really see the differences, the variation in color, it is only natural that when we see those variation in color, we think of something that it is not flat. Okay, it really adds dimension to the subject that we are looking at. So if you're gonna be painting that, if you're gonna be applying variation in colors on your subjects, you can really add some nice looking depth and a much more believable feeling on the subject that you are painting. Now, there are just some things that I wanted to share. If you are going to be trying this wet in wet technique, there are some things that I figured or that I found out that you have to avoid. So that your paintings will not be ruined by the technique, by the wet in wet technique, because watercolors can still have some risk with it, because water is really not that easy to predict. Okay, it is a very hard medium to control. So if you want to have more control, or if you want to have better results, there are some things that you can avoid if you're going to be trying wet in wet technique. Okay, for example, avoid using colors that are too similar. Now I've tried this, and you can probably see it on the coral there on the center of her head, that the greens that I've used are too similar. So it looks like even though there are variation, the coral still looks flat. Okay, because the colors are too similar. Compare that with the seaweeds that I am painting right now, which is made up of blue and green. So there is much more interest on that because the colors are contrasting, or they are not similar. So yeah, that's one thing that you want to try. Okay, if you're gonna be mixing colors, or if you're gonna be using colors and you're gonna be applying them wet in wet, you might want to try that, making one color much more duller, probably not that saturated, and the other color that you're going to be applying will be much more saturated. So that is one thing you can do. Or you can probably just try mixing different colors. For example, if you're painting a green leaf, you can try applying yellow and then applying blue, and those two colors, once they mix on the paper, they will read as green. So that is one thing that you can do if you want to add more variation in your wet in wet technique. Also, another thing that you might want to avoid is avoiding too wet washes, okay, when you've already applied your first wash. So for example, you've already applied a first layer of color and it's still wet. You might want to avoid applying another wet mixture on there, because if you apply two wet washes on each other, you will produce blooms which might not look good. Okay, you will push the other color away with the water that you're applying because you have too much water on your brush or on your mix. So you will be pushing that color away, and instead of making a smooth blend, you will be producing a bloom effect on your paintings. So that is why if you're gonna be mixing two different colors, one color should be more wet than the other, so the other color should be a little less diluted. Okay, so you can try to gauge this. You can try to adjust your color mixing. If you are mixing on a palette, you might want to feel the color that you are mixing, if it's a little bit too wet or if it's already much more thicker. Okay, because you wouldn't want to apply a very diluted color on top of another diluted color. So try to make the second color that you are applying a lot less diluted, much more thicker in its mixture. Now, as you can see here that I'm already painting the dress of the lady, and you can see that I've also added variation there. So you can see that on top of the dress, it is a much more lighter gray, green compared to the lower part of the dress, which is a much more darker green. And I've used this to add variation and also to add some change in value so that you can think of it as being in shadow. And that's also what I'm doing with the shading of the lady here with her skin, is that I'm applying another much more darker color on top of her lighter skin tone, so that there is some shade effect, or there is a three-dimensional effect when you are looking at it. It's not just a flat color on top of the sketch that we made. And if you think about it, really, when we are looking at objects in real life, we don't see them as flat colors. Especially if you are not looking at a wall, okay? Because a wall will have a flat single color because a wall is flat. But any other thing, any other object will have some variation in color in real life. So you might want to try that. Try applying a lot of variation with the subjects that you are making. Try to think about the objects that you are putting in your painting, and think about how can I add variation to this object so that we can add more interest on it. And that's what I did with this painting, and I think it really helped a lot with this painting. It really added some much needed interest. Let me also just say that applying the wet on wet technique on your painting will let you do much more. Okay, it will actually make you work faster compared to if you are waiting for your first washes to dry. Because if you're going to be waiting for your first wash to dry before applying another wash or another variation in color, it will take a while, because watercolor takes a while to dry. Okay, sometimes when I'm doing another painting and I'm going to be waiting for it to dry, I get too bored. Okay, but if you are going to be using the wet on wet technique, you can make paintings much more quicker. And actually, this painting that you are seeing right now only took about an hour to finish. Okay, now that doesn't include the preparation and the planning that I made, so that will usually take some time. But if you already have the plan in your mind and the direction in which you want to bring your painting, applying wet on wet technique will make you do your work much more faster in much less time compared to if you are going to be waiting for the paint to dry out. Now, another benefit with using wet and wet is that it really showcases the strengths of watercolor, because as I have said, this is particularly good if you are applying watercolor, and you're not going to actually be using this if you are using a different material, because other materials will tend to be opaque, so there will be like no room for a wet on wet technique with other materials. But there could be possibilities with other materials, but the wet on wet technique, I think, looks much more better if it is done with watercolor. Now, on these final parts of the painting, you can see that I'm already applying the background, and I'm using the same color on the holes in her hair so that it will blend in with the background, and I'm really happy with how this one turned out. You can see that I've added some holes in the painting so that I can add some bubble looking there, bubbles in there. Without using white paint, I only painted it negatively, so I specifically didn't paint over those squares so that I can leave some highlights for the bubbles. And now I'm just removing the final steps. Okay, I'm just doing the final steps in this painting, and that is removing the tape. And I was actually really careful while I was doing this, because the last painting that I did, I thought that I was too reckless when I was removing the tape and it ripped the paper. So now I'm actually more careful with that. But thankfully this one didn't rip the paper, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now I intend to make more illustrations like this one in the future. So if you want to see more of my process of the things that I have learned in watercolors, please make sure to hit the subscribe below, and please like the video if you really like the artwork that we did here. I'm really happy with how this turned out. So if you like this video, we will hopefully be sharing this video to much more people here on YouTube. But I think that's about it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching till the end, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.